Such a dick. Hello everyone and welcome to another Red Valkyrie Presents. I am Shae the Red with my super asshole-ish co-host over there, CY.
Bitch.
Wow, so if you're playing bingo, Shae had to go has already happened and it's been a minute 20. So
I'm pretty sure 60 of that was the trailer.
yeah. Yep, at least. So we're here with super awesome creator Ryan Cardinal. How are you doing?
Doing excellent. Hope everybody's having an awesome day out there.
Heck yeah. So fuck, gee, Shae had to go. I know. So mean. CY is such a whiny little
Little.
Tiny.
We can't all be mutants, just saying.
That's fair.
You're covering your spikes. You can't put that overlay on yet.
Why do I try to help you ever?
I mean,
Anyway. So we're here because Ryan has a really awesome looking book and had a slight bit of, like, we were talking a little bit about this backstage, had a little bit of issue because the initial, like, oh, we're going to extend for another 60 days turned into, oh, oops, I ended my campaign. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. But luckily, Ryan was already funded. Everything's good. So it's just been in demand longer. And of course, if you don't know what we're talking about, we are talking about Caius, super awesome. You having fun yet, CY? Me pushing things. I tried to help. Why
Stop touching things.
Okay, fine. So before we get into Ryan's pitch for Caius, let's watch the trailer. Johnny Cage, why can't you two behave for once? We're really mean. That's why we're
It's
bad
better
people.
this way.
Yes.
When we're nice to each other, you all start like wondering if one of us is terminally ill or.
I start getting DMs like,
Is everything okay?
did she beat you up?
Yeah, right, like it seriously, like were the cops called? Is that what happened? Like. Anyway, we're going to watch the trailer, and then we're going to talk about an awesome campaign, and not about the really healthy relationship between me and CY.
So good.
Caius, the story of Blood and Stone issues 1 and 2 go live on Indiegogo September 7th. Be sure to get your hands on these action-packed adventure comics and don't miss out.
That is awesome. It's like a freaking anime opening, and I love it.
Yeah, that was the whole goal with it, because like obviously, as you can tell, it's very manga and anime inspired. So I figured like let's do something, and by let's I mean me, do something that's like the vibe of like the early '90s.
Right.
Plus, it also made it way easier to animate, and I didn't have to deal with like weird stuff. I just had to do all like the old school cheats of pans and stuff like that. So.
Well, and so I really like it because it reminds me of like almost like Dragon Ball Z. Like the way that, you know, it switches from one character running to another character running, and you just have like the speed line, so you're like, they're running a very far distance, clearly. Like,
very quickly.
Oh, man, look at them moving. Like, you can't even discern feet. That's how fast they're going.
That's the trick. Don't draw the feet. Yeah, Rob Liefeld was right from the get-go.
I knew it. So this is like I've seen a lot of people, especially like throughout indie comics, trying to do kind of a manga style, and I've always been a little bit like, oh, almost like it's close, you know, or like it turns into, oh, that's adorable chibi, and not like that's like a very, very niche part of manga is like.
Yeah, if you keep going further and further and further.
Yeah, eventually you end up with something I could draw. Like, you know, you just have like a circle and you put little ears on it and you go, oh, that's a fat bunny.
Yeah, but that's great too. Like that.
It is. It's fantastic. And like we have so many people that are really, really talented at doing that kind of adorable, cutesy, kind of chibi-esque art. But seeing like a really good, stylized kind of manga Dragon Ball Z type feel, I haven't seen somebody do it yet, and so this is exciting for me, and it looks like it's done really well.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I actually in the beginning, drawing manga style, you know, in that genre, it's not my wheelhouse at all. Like, I was very much brought up in the '90s, Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, like all those cats. So that's where my origins is really from. But then, as you know, I've been doing tattoos for 20 plus years. Being highly detailed is actually not a advantageous thing when you're tattooing, because those tattoos have a tendency to blur out over time. And,
I understand.
Yeah.
This tattoo has way too much texture in the stone, and it's not. Luckily, it's spaced enough that it won't blur out bad, but it
softens up over time.
It took 36 hours.
Oh yeah.
And was very painful.
Well, as long as the 36 hours wasn't in one go, you know. Like.
Oh no, I couldn't afford that. Are you serious? Like, I know how much they were charging
overnight.
me. But we're just gonna keep going, and I'm gonna hit a bunch of Red Bulls, and we're gonna get through this and be like, I think I'm gonna pass out.
Oh, the lines get really fucking shaky after about 16 hours.
It was like, it's fine, it's shading.
Yeah. I don't need a steady hand here. This is color work. We're good.
Your tattoo artist
with color work
pulls out a ruler
to keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know you're in trouble when fucking he's shaking and he's got to pull that thing out.
Oh shit! And you know, this is really crazy. The amount of tattoo artists in CG is like, holy shit! There are a lot of you.
Oh, yeah,
it's really encouraging because, you know, I see all this art I love, and I want so many tattoos in the future, and so to know that like, talent is...
You can do one, and you can do one, and you can do one, and I will just collect all of you.
We'll slowly all get together at one convention, and we'll have the CG tattoo convention.
Yes!
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I would so be there. I would go broke there. Okay.
I just want to say hi to the chat, everybody. What's going on out there? Hope you're all doing all well.
Yeah, our chat's pretty awesome. We love them. So we've got Frog G, Phoenix Animation, Johnny Cage, Christopher C, Lola, and then whoever else we have that is creeping. We love you, creepers, too. So we understand talking can be scary.
You know, in my day, we used to call it lurking. Lurking.
Peeping?
No, lurking is what you would call people who sit in the chat that you can see are in the chat, but you don't know who they are because they don't say anything in the chat.
I like being side-splained, too.
Thank you. Well, I mean, you're young, so I have to tell you what was going on.
And Sai had to go.
Oh, it's just me here. I'm taking over. Everybody, everything is on sale. No, I'm just kidding. Nothing's on sale. Just go over to Indiegogo and make sure that you buy Caius issue 1 and 2.
Everything is on sale. Everything is on sale for the listed prices that you can see on the Indiegogo page.
There we go.
Nice.
So glad I kept that.
All right, so why don't you tell us about Caius, because I'm super intrigued and I love that you have it. I'm just gonna say it: a giant cock smoking a cigar. I'm down.
On top of a giant riding a black snake. You know, it just lends to itself altogether.
It's great.
Well, I mean, it is a cock and balls.
It is.
I was gonna say, after seeing that trailer, that's the cutest cock and balls.
So for the general pitch, here we go. An unlikely trio consisting of Nitto, a young 15-year-old boy, Trigger the chain-smoking chicken, and Sissik the giant rattlesnake. They leave their jungle home in search of the one thing that might save their dear old friend Cat Master Lee. Aided by a mystical seeker stone, they set out into the world in search of something that might not even exist. Join our adventurers as we discover the world of Caius.
Nice. I also love how you've got in this panel, you've got the exaggerated scream. It's one of my favorite things that they do.
Yeah, I'm leaning
in animes, just in general.
Yeah, the complete over exaggeration for like minor things and stuff like that. Yeah,
So, while this is in, everything, I think the first time I ever saw it, and probably one of my favorite uses of it, is in Trigun.
Oh,
where literally anytime Vash ends up in a situation and he's just there's just really choppy movements and a mouth that's doing this really rapidly.
Yeah, so good. Actually, I just did a huge Trigun chest piece on a guy of Vash holding the gun, and
yes, so cool. I need to get I was originally going to get a comic book sleeve, but I'm kind of hitting a point where I'm like, you guys have messed up so many of my favorite superheroes. I don't know that I can bring myself to do it.
Well, I always go to the point now too, where it's just you get the characters that you love from the era that you loved. That's how it is. I got a huge spidey on the back of my leg, and I'm just that's from when I grew up, literally from the 80s all the way up to the 90s. That's my Spidey. Yeah, no,
I feel you. And if I ever do end up getting my comic sleeve, it's all going to be my favorite. The way that I was looking at this is totally unrelated. I don't even give a shit. I love the idea of doing comic book panels that have the couples. So Aquaman and Mera having Poison Ivy or Harley Quinn and Joker having just kind of putting those pairs through. It have to have Barry Allen and Iris. I'm sorry, I love them. I know that a lot of people who are Flash fans hate Barry, but he's the one that got me into comics, and I just love him. So
that's the thing is it's what you enjoy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so one of the things I was going to say about this whole Scream thing, one of my favorite things about it is because it busts character so drastically. I think probably the biggest one I've ever seen it do was Agretsuko, if you've ever seen that.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Okay. Adorable, cute chibi version of, is she a red panda, I think? Office worker. And it's cutesy and it's adorable and it's whatever. And she basically gets treated like shit at her office job, and she's very meek and quiet. And then she goes to the karaoke bar and she screams death metal.
Oh, awesome.
And whenever she does, this is the face. Her eyes just black out and her mouth turns huge, and it's just from the bowels of her soul, it is the darkest shit ever. Yes, it's amazing. It's one of my favorite, because I'm oh my gosh, you took cute and you put it with super badass metal. I'm so happy right now. But this, I'm pissed off because the comment that I wanted to highlight, of course, because we said the word shit, so YouTube is letting it come through. King Link says, holy shit, an American-made manga that looks like a manga? That's what I was saying. That is exactly what I was saying. This is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And
just, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the expression and the everything. Like you have a black rattlesnake who looks like he's saying some like coy shit to kind of piss off the other dude. Like he just looks like he's being a little bit of an asshole right now, and I love it because it's a fucking snake.
Do you know how hard it is to make a snake emote, especially a rattlesnake?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, thank God there's like, what is it, Rango? Rango's out there. And the main bad guy's a rattlesnake, so I'm just like, okay, they've done him. I can use that for reference. And how did they do it? And I'm like, oh, they just made him look mean the entire time because they probably ran into the same problem. Like, how do you make him look like, he's...
Thank you, Sai.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, Sai. But no, I love it because it's so challenging to do that most people won't take on that kind of a task, because if you do it wrong, oh my, is it very obvious that you did it poorly and it's garbage. But like you did it so perfect because he's got the cute little smirk at the end, but his eyes are kind of menacing, and you gave him that little glint. Just that little, just if you didn't have that, I guarantee that it wouldn't come across as good as it does. Like you added just enough to be like, it's kind of like when somebody's like, your mom, and you're like, you bastard. Like,
well, I also like, because this is where in issue 2 we actually get to meet the main characters. Issue 1 is a big prologue that leads up to issue 1 or issue 2, and this is where we meet the main characters of the rest of the story for the first actual time. And I wanted to really show the interaction between Nitto, that's the boy here, and Sisik, the snake. They have more of a brotherly relationship.
Yeah.
And it has to do with Sisik essentially being the older brother trying to teach the younger brother how to do something, and that's training in martial arts. So he's a snake trying to teach him how to fight, but he has no arms or legs. So
Yes! This makes me so happy! So he like moves his arm and he's like, not like that. Why would you do it like that? Do it the other way. And it's like,
well, show me
what other way?
Well, I don't have arms or legs. I can't show you. You're just doing it wrong. So,
it's just not right. Try again.
Exactly. So
it's like,
other block.
You're military left. What are you doing? This is not right. I want to see him do like a slither move that only a snake can do and be like, do it like this. And I would be like, I have joints. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
I call this the constrictor.
You're not moving your muscles tighter inward enough, so.
Yeah. You're like, I don't think that works like that. Yeah, this looks so fucking awesome. And I love, you literally did the scream, like, coming at each other with a fucking rattlesnake.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I'm so excited for this. Between this and the chain-smoking cock, I'm super happy.
Oh, yeah. Well, the other thing, too, is when you're dealing with manga, anime, like, usually the premise and everything is so ridiculous, when you try to explain it, it just sounds dumb. And the dumber it sounds, usually the more fun...
The better it is.
Exactly. So,
like, I don't understand what you're saying to me. Why is there an egg that somehow can speak? And you're like, just trust me, okay? It's a vital character.
It works. It works in the end, yeah.
You'll love him.
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, if you think of any anime, really, like, think of trying to pitch Bleach to somebody who's never seen it.
Yeah.
You're like, well, so there's like a spirit guy, and he inhabits a teddy bear, and it's like, I'm sorry, what? And be like, oh, but he's not the main character. He's just the one that you're gonna like the most. And there's these other people, and they go between two realms, and they kind of fight demon things that other people can't see, though. And then he goes to school, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
What? Like, none of this makes any sense. To be like, no, it's fantastic. You should totally watch it. Like.
And I think that's kind of the secret with it too, is just like, if you like, I noticed that when you do the American pitch is like, so and so does this and then XYZ, and then you do the manga pitch and it's just like, how do I distill this, because this isn't what it is, but this is how it starts. Right.
And it's like one of those, I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna be absolutely ridiculous, and then I'm gonna be like, and there's fighting.
Yeah.
And be like, you should I don't know how there's fighting in a Princess K-drama, but I'm telling you there's fighting.
Yeah, and
like,
it's awesome.
It's amazing. One of them does the little chain ball thing. It's crazy. You're just like, I kind of want to see this now. Now I don't understand.
Yeah.
What is up, Double Flyer? Thank you for joining. Another really interesting thing that you've done that I think is very underrated. The blur lines that people attempt to do in these kinds of fight scenes, like what you have for this literal entire page. It is so easy to do too much or to make it so confusing you can't tell who's where and what's happening. You have done a very, very good job.
Well, thank you.
It's nice to see, because I'm like, yeah, I can tell where everyone is, what is happening, and kind of how the motion is going.
Yeah, that's the other thing too with fight scenes and stuff like that. The anime manga version of a fight scene will span over several pages just between two characters because they're in the midst of the fight. As where if you have an American style, it's like I wind up, I punch, I hit, you go flying, that's it.
Yeah.
You know? There's a more intimate aspect in a lot of manga, and especially in the fight scenes. Like, you get that inner monologue that, like, if you've ever been in a fight or in a high stress situation and things are going on at the speed of light, your brain is actually thinking in normal time like I'm speaking, but so much information is going on. And that's what they capture so much better, I feel, anyway.
Absolutely. With the exception of going back to Dragon Ball Z, I need them to stop making one fight between two characters last for a season and a half. Like, that has to stop. That is far too much.
Well, thankfully with Super, they found a great time mechanic around that, and that's making every episode 1 minute of the fight scene.
Yeah.
And so 48 episodes, boom.
Yeah.
Then you have the entire thing wrapped up, and it's fantastic. I don't know if you've seen the Super arc with the tournament.
I saw some of. I remember missing, like, when they were replaying it on Adult Swim, I remember missing like 3 weeks, going back in week 4 and going, I haven't missed anything. It's literally the same fucking fight scene.
Yes, especially if it, like, old Dragon Ball was notorious for that, because they had to let Toriyama, like, get the story ahead far enough, and then they could animate those scenes.
Yeah, so they're like, write faster, and he's like, fuck you.
Yeah, draw so quick. Yeah.
Okay, so this is issue 1 and issue 2.
Yeah.
So is this the first time that they've been offered at all, or was issue 1 released?
Issue 1 was released, in 2019. That was my first go into indie comics. My first, CG comic I put out there. It made its goal. It funded, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. I can actually do it. And with that, I'm kind of like, all right, I got something here. But like I said, the kicker was issue 1 literally doesn't have any of the main characters in it, but that's how the story plays out. It'll make sense when it comes out in the trade, because that's how I'm drawing the whole thing in that format. So,
well, and that's another thing that I'm excited to get into this, because I think that we get too caught up when you're trying to write stories, especially in comics. People forget a couple of main things. Like, one, don't start at the beginning of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just solid writing overall. Don't usually start at the very beginning of the story. Let us feel like we're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Nope. First the earth cooled, then the dinosaurs came.
We are not reliving Wash. It's not happening.
That's not Wash. That
who was it?
Johnny from Airplane.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that now.
Don't make me play it.
Please don't. So starting where you're in the middle of the story, and I don't have a problem having the first, book, the first several bits of a story, not even having your main characters, but showing the world and making you feel like you just got dropped into an experience.
Yeah.
The other thing that people have a hard time remembering is this isn't a novel, but it's not a movie. You're weird in between. So there are things that, yes, you do show, but like, you don't got a Tom King every page. Like,
or
please don't.
Stephen King every page either. So
yes, exactly. I actually got a quote tweet from King where he was like talking about how doing like a Poirot Agatha Christie style like whodunit in comic book terms would just be so difficult, because he said he would need 20 pages to get to the death. And I was like, Poirot would open on a body. I'm just saying, like, why are you taking 20 pages to be like, dude died, we don't know what happened, come along with us on the journey to figure it out. I was like, the fuck are you doing for 20 pages? Like,
yeah, you can tell where their position and angle in their storytelling is just by that.
Right, and it was really like, as much as I already don't like his style, like, that was just like the nail in the coffin where I'm like, you're not a good writer. Like, if you have to tell me what kind of like peonies or whatever he like was laying upon, I don't care. He was found dead in the garden. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Like, easy. Look, I did it in a panel.
And that's the other great thing with this stuff too, is like you can wrap stuff up in a panel. Like, if you're smart about it and if you want to move on, that's one of the great tricks of being, you know, a writer and artist, is that you can sit there and be like, what's the information? What do I need to get across to the reader in the most economic way? And do I need that for this beat? Do I need that for this moment? You know?
Right.
Or can I stretch it out? Do I need 20 pages for it? No. You know?
Well, and that goes, like, you start looking at storyboarding, and if you're looking at storyboarding and you have the same panel for like 40 panels, you're doing something wrong.
Oh yeah. I did some storyboarding for a local animation company. I quit tattooing for a while and just went into storyboards, because one of the big things that I had an issue with, which I got from every editor, they always said like, hey man, your artwork's great, but you just need to work on your storytelling, and you're like a year and a half from being, you know, hired by anybody. And that was consistent with every editor that I met. So I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to get into comic books, that's the one thing I got to work on. So either I go pay for it and go to school, which I was like, nah, or I just go jump in the deep end and just become a storyboard artist. Little did I know that is such a coveted job. I'm just some jackass that shows up out of nowhere. I'm like, hey, I'm doing storyboards. I'm like, oh, how long have you been doing it? Oh, this is my first gig ever. What do you mean? It's like, oh, I was a tattoo artist last week. Like,
it's been about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's going great so far. Everyone's so nice.
Yeah, you just put things in front of each other and you tell a story. It's awesome.
Right.
Editors suck anyway. You shouldn't listen to them.
Shut up, Cy. Cy and I are both editors.
Editors are absolutely vital, especially when you're dealing with somebody who's a dyslexic. So.
Oh,
I know,
Ryan, we love you now.
Don't get your wife or your best friend to do it, because they're not going to tell you when something has, you know, the flow of granite.
Well, and not to mention, it's really difficult if you've sat and talked with your wife or your best friend about what you're hoping the story says, and then you go, here, read this, because you just tainted the pool. Now they're going to be filling in the same blanks you would be filling in. You need someone who doesn't know what the hell's going on, be like, read my story, tell me what sucks, and be like, the fuck is this whole I don't understand this whole interaction. That makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
And there's understanding what you listen to and what you don't, because there's times where the confusion is the result you're trying to get from your audience, and editors are a fantastic way to find out, were you confusing in a way that is infuriating, or were you confusing in a way that was intriguing? Because if an editor reads it and they're like, do you explain this later?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, and they go, then explain it right now, because what the fuck?
Yeah,
but if it's like, yeah, and you go, I knew it. It's like, okay, I'm excited now. I'm going to read the next one.
Yeah, is there a reason for this mystery?
Right. Did you intend to not explain anything that's going on right now? No. And it was like, no? Oh, well, fantastic. We have to do a total rewrite, because what the fuck?
It's a mystery.
To everyone, including the writer. Awesome. Okay, this looks like so much fun. And then you posted in the private chat something that I want to make sure that we get out. Explain to us what this is.
So this is all. What's coming up will be in. Are you putting this in the chat, or are you?
Yeah, I just put it into the chat. I'm waiting for it to pop so we can actually.
Okay.
Boop.
I'm sorry, did you click something, Shae?
So I had to go. It's fine.
So if this was a drinking game, everybody could get pretty drunk pretty fast with the disappearances of everybody.
Oh yeah. I feel like that's an irresponsible drinking game.
So there's a couple like CG drinking games I've been trying to like keep my eyes on. So this is obviously one of them. The other one is on Rob's show, Replicator Rob. Every time he sighs in disbelief or disgust, you take a drink, and you would also be absolutely annihilated by the end of the show.
Every time Sai sighs, that would be a lot.
Just bodies on the floor.
Oh man! See, we do on our regen cycle. We have a new term for drinking. It's called derjank. That would be because somebody tried to super chat for us to drink and mistyped it, and now it is just channel lore. So if you
and
say,
it's on a shirt.
Yeah, if you say drink to us, we're like, You say derjank, like literally everyone's going, hold on, I got the good liquor right here. One sec.
But yeah, with what's going on right here, this is issue 1, and if you click on the link that's out there, that'll take you to a 16-page preview of issue 1. And within those 16 pages, you'll get a little bit of a taste of what's going on. In essence, there is a thief who has stolen something from a kingdom, and now she's being hunted down by these psychic bounty hunters called the Scout Elites. And their services are kind of like lent out to kingdoms or far-off lands or mercenaries. But this time, it is the specific kingdom that actually houses the Scout Elites that have sent out to track down this thief that has stolen something that is very, very precious and valuable to the kingdom. Awesome. And then that is the thief making her way into this thing right here. And if you go scroll up, you see all those crystal shards.
Oh shit!
So this thing right here, this is the Dragonmouth Pass, and she's trying to make it through here because in this world, the land itself has certain types of magic that can be focused into a thing or a type of magic that can be used. And this land right here, it's a desperate use of magic. And what that means is anyone who's trying to escape, whether they're a villain, bandit, murderer, like they have to be of this ilk, a thief. If they go through the Dragonmouth Pass, the land will judge them to see if they're worthy enough to pass through the pass, and if not, they will be consumed, and part of them will become part of the crystalline structure.
You shall not pass.
Yeah, exactly. So depending on the merit of their deed, or sometimes of just how bad they are, they will be let pass. So it's completely arbitrary up to the land if they want that person to go through or not.
Well, that sounds like the odds are not really in your favor.
Yeah, so it is a very, very desperate attempt. So if you're going there, it's literally, I'm going to die either which way. Let me take my chance.
Whew. Okay.
Yeah,
Jeez, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
This is super awesome. Okay, I want to go through your perks, and so people know how they can back and what kind of stuff you're looking at doing.
Right.
All right. So your featured tier. Tell us about this.
Featured tier is just a standard issue of issue 1 and issue 2. You get the black and white editions. There are only black and white editions. The only way you can get the color copy is through the secret perk. I'll tell you how to get to that later on. But you also get 2 6x9-inch black and white prints, a Kaya's sticker pack, and a 4-pack trading card set as well.
Jeez. And how many pages is each issue?
So issue 1 is 64 pages, issue 2 is 32 pages.
I was going to say it's right there to the left.
I see that immediately after asking.
You should be an editor.
Oh, once again.
I don't have booze, but I'll take a drink.
Right? Hold on. How appropriate. You know what booze I have? is plum wine.
Is that your floor wine again?
No, this is the good. The one that you're referring to from last night was the floor sake. This is the floor plum wine.
See, floor.
Oh my gosh, I forgot how good this is.
She doesn't refrigerate anything. It just sits on the floor of her office until it's time to take more drinks.
Yeah. That's one of the secrets to soda as well. Don't put it in the fridge; it kills it flat.
It also depends on. Apparently,
Heathens.
the difference between Coke and Pepsi is one was made to be refrigerated and one was made to not be.
Yeah, I think Pepsi was not meant to be refrigerated.
I don't remember. I just know that if you flip it and you have one, if you have either the way they were meant to be or the way that both of them weren't meant to be, they supposedly taste the same. I still call total bullshit.
Yeah, shenanigans.
Because they don't taste the same at all.
No. Not at all.
Pepsi has more of a bite. Coke is sweeter, at least
Agreed.
in my experience.
Thank you, Shelly. I will have shit. I'm gonna finish this plum wine, and then I'm gonna really need to remember to eat because. Yeah, I think I had one of those little squeeze fruit puree things at 11 this morning.
It's a really good thing I asked you if you brought lunch to work today.
Yeah, I didn't feel like eating it.
Well.
King Leek, you're wrong. Pepsi is superior. Anywho. Kai's issue 2 for $15.
Yeah, and you pretty much get the exact same sticker pack, black and white prints, and the 4-card trading set. Now, one of the things that I'm doing with this is I do not have stretch goals because, unfortunately, I am shipping from Canada, and Canada has very specific shipping weights. If you go above it, you end up paying double automatically. So I'm avoiding that by just having set bundles ready to go.
That is annoying.
It is.
I'm trying to think of how you could even work around it, and the only way I can think of would be to work with somebody to fulfill in the States for you, and that.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I'm not producing enough to merit that. So
yeah.
That's, yeah.
Yep.
Trust me,
Well,
I sat there racking my brain, how am I going to do this? How's it going to work? And this is the best way that I figured you can get a bang for your buck, so.
If you do decide that you're getting to that point, you let us know. We'll talk. We'll see what we if we can't, we can direct you to people who can. But
yeah, we'll plum wind it up.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And look at Phoenix. He's like, oh, talk to RJ from Critical Bus. I'm trying to snipe. Okay, stop it. But also, RJ's amazing. Yeah, you can totally talk to him too. He sent us patches of his little his logo, and it's they're this big, and they are perfect. You can still read everything. I was like, oh, that's a good patch. I'll have to put that on my jacket now.
The way to Shae's heart.
Aw, it is, seriously. I'm just saying,
embroidery.
Ryan, patches. Well, if we ever get to a point where you could do patches, you let me know, because I got a guy. He does good work. Anyway.
Wow.
Okay, Kaya's sketch cover. So, are you sketching on the sketch cover?
I will be sketching on it. So anybody who wants some original artwork, this is a way to get it from me. You can get the sketch cover. And yeah, I'll be doing pretty much whatever you want on there. Characters from Kaya's. If there's something specific that you want and you get this, just let me know what you want and then we'll do it up. So.
Very cool. Very cool. I just started doing sketch covers, and I've got to say, I'm kind of in love with them. They are so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
I just kept staring at them going, this is the most horrifying thing in the world, because if you fuck it up,
that's it.
You have fucked it up. And then I started doing them, and I was like, it's exhilarating. I love it.
Well, I got a bunch of cheating techniques from being a tattoo artist, so there's a lot of stuff that I know how to do to make sure that I get exactly what I want on there, so.
I don't have those. You'll have to teach me. Because what this is, see, look, the level of my sketch covers is, I can do cute cartoon stuff.
Awesome.
Because I understand cartoons. I'd show you the other one, but I sold it already, so. Sorry, guys.
No, you sold it to the person who made the actual comic.
That is true. He was like, I like your sketch cover. Are you selling it? And I was like, Sure. I could sell it to the creator.
That'll work.
I'm okay with this. He was like kind of terrified, but he was like, "No, it's great." I'm like, "Oh, okay. You can. How much would you like to pay for it? I feel like I'm just gonna give it to you at this point." And then I was like, "No, I need to actually price things. I'm trying
Make that money.
trying to sell things here. I keep forgetting that."
Yeah.
Yeah. So $75 to get a sketch cover from you is like, whew, that is inexpensive.
Oh yes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a deal. If you know anything about tattoo artists, our time is worth a good chunk of change.
Yep. I get a discount with mine because I'm military, and I'm still like, oh, how do I get into this gig? And it's like, oh, you have to be able to draw. I'm like, see, that's how they
Well, that's debatable these days.
You got to be able to trace other
Really,
people's
really well.
drawings.
Yeah, yeah.
Or use
fine
Photoshop filters.
There's a lot of that going on right now too, but if you can replicate it, that's the big thing. If you can do it,
I can replicate other people's stuff
that's a huge market, especially
because it's tracing paper.
Yep.
I can do that all day long. I'm like solid there. Shit, I've got a career in really shady tattooing.
Isn't all tattooing shady?
Shade. Very nice. Okay. The worst part is I can't even blame the plum wine because it hasn't kicked in yet. Okay, sketch cover. So 1 and 2. This is issues 1 and 2.
Yes, it is. So if you want a little bit of catch-up cover, I still have a nice batch of sketch covers from the first run. Now the thing with what I'm doing here, everything is in limited series batch runs. So I only make 100 of each copy of the sketch covers, 100 copies of the secret tier cover, and only 350 copies of the standard cover. Once those sell out, that's it. They're not to be reprinted, not to be reproduced, and essentially that goes for issue 1, issue 2, issue 3. Those will be collected into the tankabon, like the classic manga.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is how I will be selling it from that point on. So
Ooh.
if you miss out on the single issue copies, that's how you're going to be able to catch up. But if you're looking to collect the single issue copies, there's only going to be a set number of 300. And even, like I said, even shorter, like 100 of these each for the sketch covers and 100 of the limited edition secret tier covers.
Oh man. How long are you staying in demand? March? This isn't fulfilling till March, right? So we got like
Yeah, you got time.
Okay. Hey people, if you want to help me be able to fund my really ridiculous comic book addiction and also get back home, I'm just saying my commissions are open. And if you pay me, it's probably going to go directly back to Ryan. Because I'm like, ooh, I could get sketch covers of 1 and 2, and then a sketch cover of 3, and then get the trade. It's exciting. I like this idea.
Yeah, I got like kind of a different model going on for my stuff than most people. So.
Well, and I like the idea of you're doing sketch covers and you're limiting them, like, forever. Not just like, oh, I'm limiting them so I can do what is possible to do during a campaign. Yeah. But you're like, oh no, there will never be sketch covers like this again.
Yeah, once those 100 are done, that's it. They're done. So
that's awesome. Okay, so have you ever considered doing blank sketch covers for other people to be able to
like drawing on other people's covers for their stuff?
No. Like putting up a sketch cover tier that people could purchase that doesn't come with your art on it.
Oh, that's something else that I'm looking into at the end.
Oh, okay.
Because then those become even more limited than everything else.
Right. Okay, yeah. Cool. Yeah. Good to know. Because I would like to attempt this.
Yeah.
It's so scary because this is like, I was like, I'm drawing like boxy robots and, rats in things of cheese.
You got a thing for the mechanical. It's okay.
I know. It's all Cy's fault. But honestly, like a chain smoking cock would be a really fun thing to draw on a cover. Especially if you have like the snake just chilling in the background, like
Yeah.
just if you could figure out how to make a snake emote as disappointed, that would.
Yeah, I got like facial charts that I'm working on, because like even with Sisek the snake, like his mouth, like the little teeth that he has, like the teeth scales, those also will interact. So those are things that I could use to like help emote him even more. So if he's angry, they'll actually go like jagged and sharp, and his little fins will be sharp. Or if he's like being super cute or something like that, everything gets rounded and soft and bubbly. So just anything.
You just do like the little kawaii like line heart. I love it. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Okay, and then you have the Caius Mega Pack. Holy hell, what is this?
Yeah, so the Mega Pack, you get standard edition of 1 and 2, as well as the sketch covers of 1 and 2. You get an 8x10 silkscreen wood print. And what's the last thing I have up on top there? I've forgotten. I think it's an 8x10 ink drawing as well.
And a 3x5 silkscreen patch.
Yep.
Damn you did patches, but I have to have $200. Okay, so like a lot of people commission me. And then I can get my patch. Damn it.
I will commission you 8 times.
Oh, I'm so cheap.
What are you going to do for the other 140?
Wow. You are such a bitch. And like the worst part is it's a decent burn, so I can't even be that mad at it.
No, you can't, because I had to legitimately yell at you to charge a decent price for your sketch cover. And she was fighting me. She's like, I mean, but 2 bottle caps? I'm like, no.
It's like, but what if he gives me a pink starburst? That's like $5. That's worth so much.
Artists.
Pink starbursts.
Value yourselves, artists.
Okay, and this is the horrible thing is I yell at other artists to do this all the time, and then I look at me and I'm like, but I'm not like a real artist. I'm like an internet girl who like kind of draws. And then I like looked at it and went, oh, if I weren't me, but I was talking to me, I'd be very disappointed in me right now. I was like,
Shae,
damn it.
I have 2 reminders.
Oh no. Okay.
What did I make for this?
Shut up. We really don't have to go. So
What did I make for that?
So I sold both of these, and the first one outsold my canvas painting.
That.
So. Yeah,
Yes.
That's on a memo pad.
Ooh, is that gel pen? Or is that ballpoint?
I believe it's ballpoint. Ballpoint Bic.
Classic.
No, not even big. That's too highbrow.
The ink comes out too well with a Bic.
Right. You know what? I am
Dollar store spiral notebook.
Yeah.
It's just so funny because I'm like, I can understand, like, if somebody hires me to do a cosplay, like an actual full-on cosplay, my understanding of worth for that, because I'm like, okay, the Freya cosplay, I was like, dude, I sank like $300 into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I can price that pretty well, because even if I don't pay myself a whole lot in labor and I just go off of materials and, you know, hey, I made something for you, I should get some kind of profit. I could still give you some price. Now, granted, I'm still undercutting myself in representative to other cosplayers out there.
Yeah.
But that's because most of them have tit implants and size 0 waist and I don't. So, you know, you're paying for their surgeries on top of it.
Is that the secret to get people to pay for your surgeries?
Yeah, I'm just waiting to get my tit implants in, and then my cosplays will go through the roof.
Exactly. No, they won't at all, because I promise you're gonna, like, if you get into cosplay, you start getting into but I could do this and it'd make it so much better. And it's like, yeah, but that one thing that you're talking about doing is like $70 in supplies, and you're like, but it'll make it better.
Yeah. It's a different kind of shiny. It's not
Yep.
shiny.
You don't understand. It's a shiny that picks up when you fire at it with a Canon, really high quality camera, and it'll show up in low light, and you're like, are you going to take low light pictures? Well, no, we are going to be out in the middle of the day, but
It'll be with my phone.
But it's like, but then in the future, it's like an investment, It's like, are you going to buy enough that you can use it on many cosplays? No, that's too expensive.
Your profit margin was already 45 cents. Do you really want to eat into that?
It's horrible.
Yeah, blow it all. Yeah.
Yeah, I do cosplays for me at this point because people don't typically have the funding to pay for an actual cosplay.
Yeah,
Like,
go figure. Stuff costs a lot of money to make stuff.
holy shit, it does. Like, the second, and people will be like, oh, but I've just got it, where it's like, there's a lot of the fake flowers and rhinestones. I was like, do you have any idea how much fucking fake flowers?
They're pricey.
Holy shit, to get like a tiny thing of baby's breath. They're like, oh, that's on sale. It's only $9.99. I'm like, for that,
I would like to draw your attention to the left-hand photo.
The amount. No, seriously. You want to know how I know how much, like, fucking fake flowers cost? That, I would say probably a minimum of half of what I spent was on fake flowers and rhinestones.
Yeah.
That shit was expensive.
Look at those berries.
There's so many berries. But it's so pretty.
They did. It looks fantastic.
Thank you. I still have to do the bottom half. I did like from the top up, and I'm like, this is great. I don't want to do the bottom. That's a lot more work. It was like, and I'm going to be cold, and I'm going to have to go out into the forest. And
you did this last
off.
winter, and now it's November again.
Oh.
It's just in progress.
Indefinitely, yes.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna take this shit with me when I go back to Utah for Christmas, and we'll do a freeze your ass off Winter Wonderland Freya photo shoot or something. I'm sure my brother has a nice camera.
You know what you could do? In February, bring it to Florida.
I'll do that too.
And then it's, high 60s.
I'm getting my money's worth out of this shit. I'm gonna get pictures in the snow. I'll get pictures on the fucking beach. I don't care.
Yes, beach. Definitely beach.
Yeah, Christopher C., you're right. I do have to scope out estate sales better.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with those is the silk flowers that you get from an estate sale, you are gonna have to very heavily clean because they will have about 2 inches of dust.
Better picture.
And that deep embedded yellow smoke usually.
Yeah. You gotta like, I'm gonna put it in a box and I'm gonna like compress it with Febreze. And hope that
looks
helps.
fantastic, by the way.
Thank you.
She spent so long on this.
I did.
It's funny,
the
that almost
makeup
looks like a
was,
bird.
Yeah, the makeup was a lot too. Cause
did you airbrush the makeup, or is that
No.
spun?
That's neither. That is eyeshadow and a blush brush.
Ah, okay.
And a very steady hand to do lines going down.
Have you ever used Illustrator makeup?
The only thing that I've used regular like makeup,
Yeah.
and I've used I've got, I don't even know where my cakes are right now, but I've got Snazaroo, which is what I do. Like, if click on La Mano del Destino, click on that one. This stuff. So this is all. It's a water activated solid. So you like basically just get it wet and then paint. And the funny thing is if you look really closely, I'm not wearing a bald cap. That's my hair.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I legitimately was painting my hair you can see it right there. Like I freeze sprayed it down so I had like something to work with and then painted on top of it.
Where is it? It's on the other one. Hold on.
Yeah, what is the Illustrator makeup?
So Illustrator makeup is what they actually use for special effects stuff.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine, he's worked on. He actually helped make the Ryuk suit for the live action Netflix Death Note, which was essentially the only good thing out of that is the fucking Ryuk suit. But yeah, he told me about Illustrator makeup, and what it is, it's an alcohol activated makeup, so you can sweat, you can go all day, you can swim underwater with it. It doesn't come off, and you use alcohol to get it off. But the cool thing with it is it acts like watercolor on your skin, so you can do all these layering and peppering effects. So you can make something look real with the way that it actually blotches and layers, and you get that subsurface scattering going on.
Ooh.
And they have a complete gamut of palettes available. And the thing is, you buy one palette, there are people in the industry since this came out have been using their original palette since they've been doing the industry. Because you use so little of it.
Well, it's the same thing with the Snazaroo. You know, if you don't set them, they do smear pretty bad because it's water based. Yeah. So like if you get wet, if you sweat, if you cry, it is going to fuck up. Yeah. But also there's things that you can do with underlayer and overlayer to make it more waterproof. Yeah. But the Snazaroo set, I rebought base colors because I couldn't find it, and I bought I've repurchased white and black, and I think red, because those are the ones that I end up using the most. Yeah. But I've had the same sets once I found them. I've had them for literally 11 years. Yeah. And I look at most of them and I'm like, they're still good. The only ones that I keep running out of are black, white, and red, because how many people do demons? Yeah. Or skeletons?
Skeletons, zombies. Yeah. Yeah, anything.
I mean, like all of that. I'm like, I'm literally using black and red. I'm using black and white. I'm using black, red, and white. Like, yeah. And then every now and then someone will be like, my character has blue skin. And I'm like, oh, where's my blue palettes? Oh my gosh, they never get used.
Shae, I'm just gonna say I'm pissed. There is something missing from here.
What are you looking for?
Well, you were talking about how you use the makeup instead of different materials. Sometimes I seem to recall one creator who was shocked that your luchador mask.
Oh, my Cecil one.
Yeah, Cash Grab's not on here.
No, it is not. I did not put Cash Grab on there.
Damn it.
Because Cecil was probably very drunk. It wasn't that.
No, like, Cecil was probably the only sober
Lamano
one.
del Destino was a far more impressive luchador mask than the shit that I did for Cecil.
Yay!
I want abs.
I want abs. I mean, not that you could tell by every piece of artwork I have commissioned, but
literally, if you ever, I'm gonna help all of you artists now. If we ever hire you to do commissions for Red Valkyrie, Sai needs big tits, abs, and short purple hair. That, like, big tits and abs. If you can only do 2 of the 3, I'm just helping all of you right now. Anyway, okay, so back to Caius. We totally got off track. Holy shit. See, this is what happens, though, is because I see... So, like I was telling you before, when I saw this, I really wanted...
It's not my fault. They're right next to each other.
I really wanted to try my hand at foam wig making, and then, too much shit just happened and got in the way. But these kinds of hyper stylized, like, really fun projects lend themselves so well to doing really fun cosplays. And you gave me an excuse to buy one of my new favorite pieces that I have now, which I'm super excited about.
So you got part of the sleeveless Canadian tuxedo going on there?
Yeah, and it's actually long too. The funny thing is I can't actually button it all the way because it's too small for my chest, but it's fine. But I love how much fun and how stylized you've gone with this, because it really makes it feel like something that's like an experience, instead of it just being, this isn't just like another book. This is something that's going to put you into that kind of environment give you, you know, really kind of a good immersion. And like they were saying, is it's a manga not done by somebody in Japan. It's a manga done by, oddly enough, a Canadian, but you know, but it looks like mangas should look, and I think that that's super exciting.
Thank you for saying manga. No, I'm serious, because fuck the other way.
What other way?
Manga.
Manga?
Yeah.
It's manga. I'm sorry.
Manga.
I'm from Utah, okay? You're lucky you get anything that's close to this, all right?
I learned the word manga in the 90s, probably about 3 minutes after I learned the word anime.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's also GIF.
No, it isn't.
What, you're just randomly hitting shit now?
I hit the space bar, and apparently that goes to the last thing that I highlighted.
Yes.
Didn't know. Okay. Is there anything else that you want to let us know about Caius?
Let's see. Well, the name itself is from the Cree language. I'm of First Nation descent, so there's going to be a lot of that element that's going to be put into the story. There's going to be folklore coming from Cree myth, and the word Caius means a long time ago, so it's kind of a play on Once Upon a Time.
Oh my gosh, I love that!
Yeah, and weirdly enough, because I did an internet search on Caius, I just wanted to make sure that internationally it didn't mean like, you know, monkey butthole or something like that.
That would be awesome.
Which is totally possible. But funny enough, Caius in several different languages actually means like stone, boulder, rock. So it fits in with everything too, where it's a story of blood and stone. So
That's awesome.
Now I want to buy a comic that's called Monkey Butthole.
Oh, I guarantee it's out there somewhere.
No, but it'd be like some Cal Arts thing, and yeah, no.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Some bean mouth, weird. Yeah.
Oh, sad face. This is just the most depressing thing ever. Like I'm when I look at something and I go, oh, I could draw that without really trying. Like that's when I get sad. Like I when I did Baron Rat, I literally had like references all over the place. So I was like, okay, so this is how I'm gonna do the cheese, and then I'm gonna have him come out, and then this is the face I kind of want him to have, and then if I do this with this tail, like piecing together references. If I look at something like Steven Universe and I go, I could probably close my eyes and the horrors that are burned into my brain will come out on the paper.
Yeah,
that's garbage.
I hate it when horrors are burned
enough.
into my brain.
So one of the reasons why I actually left the animation industry has to deal directly with that kind of stuff. Luckily, the first project that I got to work on was season 1 of The Hollow by Netflix, and it was like the design, the characters, they were awesome. I was like, oh, I can get behind this. But then the next job that I ended up getting, oof, it was like being handed something. It was just like, here's a pile of shit that you got to draw. And I was like, I am not down with this at all. I was like, well, you're contracted to do this. And I was like, oh, great learning experience. Don't get jobs that you can't stand behind.
So, as a military member, I understand about contracts.
Oh, yeah.
Right of refusal.
Doesn't exist for me.
Yeah.
That's called treason.
Yeah. You're doing this, and that's the way that it is.
Yay! But I'm really happy to hear. So the thing that makes me the most excited is because they say everybody's got at least one good story in them.
Yeah.
And some of us have many, and it's just a matter of getting around and telling them.
Some of us are just full of bullshit.
So true. Oh, the bullshit that I should be writing down and making money off of.
Yeah.
But I love hearing that so many people that are in the indie scene, because the only way that this is ever going to succeed is if people have a realistic expectation as to what it means to have to crowdfund, to push out your own product, to be your own boss. Being your own boss sounds so good on the surface, but when you realize that, like, your paycheck completely depends on you and everything that you do, and you have to make mistakes that could very well cost you huge opportunities, or you might have to take jobs that aren't what you want to do in order for you to get in a better position to do what you do want to do.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of dues in there, but having so many people in the indie community who have that understanding, who worked in parts of mainstream and saw how it went and went, you know what, I'm taking the gamble anyway, and I'm going to invest in my story and myself. That is so encouraging, and that is why we end up with so many amazing stories and, you know, phenomenal art and like passion projects where people are like, I might not be making money off of this, but I'm getting to tell a story that I've wanted to tell. Yeah. And that's what makes people want to come out in droves to support. And I feel like Caius is 1,000%. This is a story that you've wanted to tell. And it really shows in the fact that this isn't your typical wheelhouse that you would go to for an art style, but it's the best wheelhouse for the story that you're telling. And so you went there, you taught yourself, you learned, you grew as an artist, and now you've produced something that is one of the best looking mangas that I think I've seen come out of the indie scene.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I am a complete sucker for learning. Like, if I'm not learning, I don't want to be doing that thing. So,
right.
Shifting gears, going into the whole, like, you know, anime manga route, I spent a good year and a half just trying to get the style of drawing a way that I like to draw in, that's comfortable, that comes with somewhat ease, where I'm not fighting it.
Right.
And that took about a year and a half just to get to that point. And also learning to, you know, teach myself how to animate to make the trailer, because up until I made that, I've only done, like, you know, little segments of stuff, but that's been it. But I was just like, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're like, I can make a GIF.
Yeah, and like storyboards is one thing, because it's just like, you know,
right.
moving mouth and then like turning this way, moving mouth again, but yeah, doing full blown animation, I was like, all right, we're gonna learn how to do this, because now that I have that in my bag of tricks, that's something that I can do for myself, and also
absolutely,
if it ever goes beyond that, I can now be like, no, I want it like this. This is how it has to be like, or.
Well, and it's just refreshing to see a creator who is so dedicated to how they want the story told, that they put in the time and the effort to learn these various things, learn how to animate so you can better communicate to somebody that you maybe hire in the future to do the animation, where you say, okay, so I see how you did this cut and that's cool, but what I actually want is this shot that goes into this kind of thing. And you can closer speak their language.
Yeah, exactly. Then you have the same vocabulary and the same frame of reference.
And the thing is that's not something that you had. That's something that you developed specifically because that's what this called for. And you putting in that kind of effort in order to bring us a story that has the right feel gives me, as somebody who is like a first-time backer of this, so much more confidence, because it's, well, you're just as invested as I am. And people, I don't think that a lot of the newcomers that have like the stars in their eyes about, oh my gosh, I'm going to tell my own story and it's going to be amazing and I'm going to make 6 figures, they don't understand that it isn't just your story, it isn't just your art, it's you.
Yep.
And so if you can show that you are just as invested as you're asking us to be, it's a lot easier as somebody who is on the outside looking in to go, okay, I'm going to get invested in this.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot to lose. And for me, I have $25, you know, I throw $25 at your campaign and maybe I get a book that I go, well, that'll be the last time I back it. But for you, you're looking at this and saying, I'm developing as many new skills as I possibly can to make sure that I bring you the best possible story. So this is like us getting the most idealized version of what you can give us. And it's still at the ground level, which means that as if this is good, it just gets better. If this has potential but maybe isn't quite there, it still has room to get better. But if this is like, dude, I'm capped out, this is all that I got, and I'm like, oh, that was a rough read, like, then I'm done, you know. It's like, and sadly, Sai and I have talked about this. I have an Indiegogo problem. I really do. I'm just gonna check real quick because I can't remember what it was, but it's way too many. 325 contributions.
Damn.
Yeah. I don't have that kind of money, by the way. So I, like, I'm backing things and then looking at my bank account and going, cereal sounds good today. Like,
can I afford this fam for the ramen?
Yeah, like I like look down into the cupboard and I'm like, I mean, that can of chunky soup that it's been there for like 2 years, I'm sure is fine.
It's extra chunky now.
It'll be fine. I can probably eat it and not die. Like, legit what's happening. And
I'll boil it so hard.
and there's been quite a few books that I've read, and I've been like, unfortunately, and it's because you can tell when people have the drive and the talent and the growth factor and the passion, and when people are timid or scared or think that they're going to make a quick buck or just throwing something out there to try and throw something out there. And there's a lot of that. There's not a lot of this super passion behind stuff that comes through in the pages. Like, you might be passionate about the story, but
cash grab, but with no follow through.
Hey, technically, cash grab is still a cash grab. I'm still waiting. So the difference is I have seen pages, so I do know that they exist.
Yes.
That doesn't mean we're getting them.
Like, they're out there somewhere.
They exist. We may never see them.
That's just for when Cecil gets dragged into court and look, it's being worked on.
It's right here.
I have set precedent that I told nobody was getting anything from the get-go.
In fact, many have demanded that they never get anything.
Which is also super funny.
You can't win, Your Honor.
Send me something, so help me.
You can't win, Your Honor. You want to have some bourbon?
Well, I'm really excited for Caius. I really, really hope that this just continues to grow, because looking at what you've got for backing isn't terrible, but for the quality that I see, I want to see it go up higher. And granted, people still gotta get to know you.
Oh yeah, exactly. The other thing with that too is I'm going to be pumping up my YouTube channel again here. So if everyone wants to hop over there, sub to me, it's the Ryan Cardinal, and I do interviews over there as well. But I'm trying to get a little bit more format going down because I'm a tattoo artist. There's a lot of stuff that I can pull that's not from our scene into our scene. And
nice.
A lot of these tattoo people, they're nerds just like us.
Yes,
they want to spend money. They don't know anything about us. So
suggest Red Valkyrie. Sorry. Just a little something in my throat.
Oh, yeah. But the good thing is this core group of people, the tattoo guys, as you well know, they got a lot of money to spend, and tossing an extra 20, 50, $100 toward a project that they're stoked on is no real big deal. So
right.
Just finding a way to be a bridge out and pulling people into our scene, which is another tough thing that I think a lot of us are struggling to do right now.
Yeah. It's a lot trickier than I think some people realize. Like, we're trying it. We've got some friends who have various channels that have nothing to do with comics, but they have everything to do with geeks. Yeah. And I'm like, we're all geeks. Like, let's just, come on, everybody. Like, you know that you want to read some good comics. And I've had friends in the military that are like, dude, the Marvel and DC just kind of suck. And I'm like, so have you heard of indie comics? I'm just going to throw that out there. Like, and I start showing them cosplays and stuff. And I've had friends that don't spend money on any, like, you go out to a restaurant and they'll get like an appetizer and a water. And then they'll just like, can I have a chicken finger? And you're like, seriously, bitch? Like, the fuck?
I don't want fries.
Like,
fries.
they don't, and they eat all of your food, and you're like, bro, Steph, like, we both have paychecks, and go, I don't want to spend my money on this. I've had one of those guys see one of these campaigns, get so fucking excited about it that he actually dropped money on it, and I almost shit a brick. I was like, you backed this? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, really? And he's like, well, you were talking about it, you were so excited, and the creator seemed so hyped, and the art looked really cool, and I just backed it. And I was like, you spent $25 on something. I don't know who you are anymore.
This is one of the Steves, isn't it, Shae?
This is Steve, yes. this is Crayola Steve. This is my Marine friend who.
Boy, is this weird grinder bio, Steve, or is this
Yes.
the other one? Oh God.
He made the mistake of letting me write his Tinder bio, and the horrible thing is, he was like, "I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm just looking for a booty call." So I put that in his bio, and he was like, "There's no way." He got 4 hits off of it. I was like, "So I'm just saying." Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Creators Atlas says, "You backed it, you cheap fuck?" Yes. That was pretty much the conversation, was like, "I'm sorry, you what now?"
Yeah, after you're done picking your jaw up off the
Yeah.
floor after hearing it.
Get
like,
less
you know what?
add-ons
You can
and
have
kick
half-
in on this sampler platter.
No. You can now have my chicken tenders because your dumbass actually supported an indie community.
I removed her. No one else has the right to her chicken tendies.
So it's
Nope.
like that, eh?
No. I gave her 50% of the channel. She gives me 50% of the nuggies. She was drinking some of that plum wine, and I'm watching her backstage because I can still see her since I'm the host. Wiping it off of her chin and neck. You can add yourself, Shae. I'm not doing it. That finger. Great. Yeah. Fuck it.
The plum wine is gone. Most of it got in my mouth.
Small escape.
Some of it is now on my weightlifting gloves.
Those things just shackles.
Shae, you did not say
new commission.
You did not say art commission. You just said commissions are open.
Yep.
Commissions are open. Oh man, Tinder.
Make that money any which way.
You
Tinder, Grinder, whatever.
fucking terrible
Christian Mingle.
site that oh no, I can't write for Christian Mingle. They don't.
Plenty of fish
Like,
or whatever the fuck it's
I'm
called.
Christian, but they don't like me there.
That's because your tattoo is confusing depending on which way your arm goes.
It's this. Okay,
Hold up
so
your
I
arm.
have my cross because my arm the majority of the time is going to be,
At
if I'm
rest.
standing, is going to be at my side, which means that the cross will be right side up. But when other people are like, "Oh, what's your tattoo?" If I go like this, they go, "Oh yeah, same, like Satan," and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So every time somebody asks for my tattoo, and I can't do it on stream, I do this.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm not even entertaining that idea.
Yeah. No, it's super. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, yeah.
I was just gonna say, it's always super funny placing stuff too, because you come across things that you don't really think about until you place it there, and then you're like, oh, that's gonna be a thing that happens.
Yeah.
A perfect example. So a buddy of mine, he wanted a portrait of his mom, and he wanted to get it on his chest, but it was a portrait of her when she was young, but minus her giant childhood beehive hairdo, and wanted a more modern haircut that she has. So some Photoshop magic, I do it up, and we place the stencil on, and his wife at the time comes in and is like, "Oh, hell no." And we're like, "Whoa, what's going on?" It's like, the last thing that I want to see while you're banging me is your mom. So that's got to go somewhere else. And we're like, "Oh, crap, I didn't even think about that."
Back shoulder.
Yep.
Devil Flyer actually just ended up saying what I ended up telling people if I ever did this, and they were like, "Ooh, Satan!" Peter's cross. Peter was crucified upside down because he didn't feel that he was worthy to be killed the same way that Jesus was. So,
Wow,
ha!
that's actually really cool.
Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, all of you people who seem to think that it's satanic.
Haha, it is satanic. Okay, I would just like to draw your attention to the fact that King Leak is really excited.
I have a script, by the way. That's why I told them, I was like, Leak, DM.
And
do it up.
And he DM'd us 10 minutes ago just to let you know.
How about you check that? Bitch, I am live! I am busy! How about you wait about 5 fucking minutes? Anyway.
You're in the chat. I would think you know what we're doing.
I just gotta say, I love our chat. I love the fact that you guys, you come out in force, you support all of these awesome creators, and you also join in giving a shit every single time we do anything. It's amazing. It makes me super happy. By the way, Ryan, I refreshed, not live because I'm dumb. 4907. So you've jumped a little bit.
Awesome. Making them moves and headways.
So for everybody who's watching, thank you so much. Damn, Chrissy. Thank you guys so much for coming out, for listening to us ramble and get horribly off topic about what, 5 or 6 times? It's fine. It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's all in the name of Caius. I'm just saying. The conversation has been great. You guys are always just a fantastic audience. Please share this out. He is staying in demand for a couple more months, and so there is plenty of time for people to get in on this, for people to back, to save up some money and back at higher tiers after getting a couple of commissions. I'm just saying.
And keep in mind, too, everything is a limited set print run. Whatever sells during this or whatever doesn't sell during this will be carried over into issue 3. So it's get in now. And if we do sell out of issue 1, do sell out of issue 2, then it's a very limited print run of only 100 that open up after that. Different cover. So there's that way everything is always special to that print run.
Awesome.
I've been listening this entire time. I want that to be said, but I do not recall you talking about the secret tier color.
Oh, right. So
we did
the
not.
secret tier is issue 1, but this is the only way you're going to get any kind of color whatsoever on it. That's not it. There it is. So issue 1 and issue 2.
It's hiding in your groin.
Gatefold cover of issue 1. Where is it? There it is. And working on issue 2 gatefold cover. Oh, that's in.
I will make you bigger since Shae is obviously too busy.
Yep.
Awesome.
There we go. And yeah, issue 2 is also going to be a gatefold full color cover. If you sign up to the mailing list, I should have brought that up. Damn it, I don't have that ready. That's the one thing I forgot. I do have a mailing list. I'm going to put that in the updates of the Caius campaign. So if you want to check the updates right after this, you'll be able to sign up to the mailing list. And then through that mailing list, I'm going to put a note, a newsletter out. And then from there, you will be able to get onto the secret tier.
Is that accessible from your website at all? Or is it?
It's just through MailChimp. So it's just a mailing list on MailChimp. And then once you're on there, then I'll be able to send you out the link. And with that, too, the other big thing with all this stuff is a lot of people, you got to keep growing the mailing list because down the road, things are going to change very rapidly, and we're going to have to figure out how to stay in contact and in touch with each other. And if you don't have your mailing list and you're not pushing that at all times, which I completely forgot to do at this point, it's probably hands down the most important thing that you can do because we don't know where social media is going to be in the next little bit. We don't know where YouTube's going to be in the next little bit. So everything's going to kind of go back to old school. Get your own website going, get the mailing list going, get your subscriptions up, all that stuff. And then that way we can all help each other that way too by self-promotion and getting our own stuff out there.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Devil Flyer, sometimes you concern me.
You can't go wrong with spiky hair.
I mean, look, the spikes are at least somewhat decent. I'll give it. I'll give the wig that it did at least spike somewhat well.
Yeah.
So I'm super stoked. Did you? So you? Yeah, all right. We talked about the secret perks. Is there any other things that we wanted to? Sorry. The plum wine is now kicking in. After the last, it's gone now. I have chugged it all. And not eating all day is apparently.
Some mushed up fruit isn't cutting the absorption factor.
I can't wait for when I stand. That's going to be an adventure. Anyway, Okay, Ryan, is there anything else that you want to make sure that we cover before we wrap? Because you have been so lovely that we've been talking for almost an hour and a half, and I gotta be honest, it really doesn't feel like it at all.
Oh, well, that's awesome. It's not a drag to be around me, so...
Ryan's like, that's good that you haven't felt it, because I've been
You are
saying
not
talk.
boring.
No, you are not. You're wonderful.
Everybody can catch me. All my social media handle is the Ryan Cardinal. So Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, literally anywhere where you can. Just put in the Ryan Cardinal. I should show up. It's the little yellow circle with the red cardinal bird in it. That's all my social media stuff. Super easy to find. And other than that, go. If you can't back my project, go back somebody else's project.
Oh, that is literally it. How many shows have we done, Si? That's the first time anybody's really been like, if you can't back mine, go back someone else's. That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, both for coming on the show and chatting with us, and also for being so flexible, because I know that you had illness, I had some tragedy and some other things that hit, and you have just been so wonderful in being flexible, letting us move stuff around, and so I very much appreciate it, and I want to thank you for that.
I appreciate you having me on. One of these things too is that, like, everybody forgets, like, everybody has their platform. We're not entitled to stuff, so I'm always very appreciative when, somebody asks me to come on their show, because, it's always grateful for it.
Well, thank you very much for that as well. And Si, thank you for all of the work that you did. I know it was kind of a rush today because I did not do what I normally do, which is send out an email on Sunday to verify all of our shows for the week. So I very much appreciate you doing everything that you did.
Oh, absolutely. And Ryan, I have your YouTube also linked in the description. Guys, just scroll down to guest and you'll see his Twitter and his YouTube.
Perfect. And of course, thank you everybody in the chat for hanging out with us for almost an hour and a half. You guys are epic. As always, we love you to bits and pieces. And please make sure that you back Kaya, share it out. Let's get Ryan past, I want to see him past 5K, before November's over. Come on, it's not even $100.
It's my birthday month, for Christ's sakes. Come on.
It's your birthday month? Oh my gosh. Birthday present Ryan needs to be over 5K. Come on now, guys.
Hookers and blowing teeth. Come on, let's do this.
Yes. All right. Love all of you. You guys are amazing. And we will see you guys next time. Catch you later.